For over 140 years, Coca-Cola has been out here flexing, claiming their secret formula is one of the most impenetrable, heavily guarded, and a sacred trade secrets known to mankind. They got faults, and they got generations of people believing this stuff is practically a legend, a magic. And then out of nowhere, some random ass YouTuber, LabCoatz, just rolls up, drops a video, and cracks the Coca-Cola formula with good old science. Now you might be thinking, oh, it's one of those clickbait I found the recipe videos, right? Yeah, we've seen dozens of them. But what LabCoatz did here, it's something else, bro. He just brought out the big guns and started shooting with it. We're talking about mass spectrometer. And that machine is a game changer. Now, let's discuss the how. Alright, because this wasn't just some guy mixing flavors in the kitchen until he got lucky. No, LabCoatz actually teamed up with some high-level academics and used mass spectrometer. For those who don't know, based on my research, it's basically a $100,000 piece of gear that scans the chemical fingerprint of a substance. He basically reverse engineered the molecular structure of the soda. Now, if you're like me, I'm no scientist, right? I previously explained what the mass spectrometer is using AI. So, I'm a dumbass, right? I failed chemistry in high school. But in layman terms, imagine if you had a machine where you could throw in a finished cake, right? And spat out a digital list of every single grain of sugar, every drop of vanilla. He scanned the chemical fingerprint of the soda to see exactly what molecules were hiding inside. And yes, I'm reading an AI explanation. So what? I'm a dumbass, remember? Now let me just pull up my screen here so we can see what's going on with the process.
And chemical analysis. In terms of analysis, Vince from Neptunium and Ben from Aspect Everything agreed to analyze Coca-Cola, my ingredients, and a few similar sodas like Pepsi using their mass spectrometers. These machines essentially take a tiny sample of whatever you want, split it into chemical fractions using either a liquid or gas chromatography column, and then analyze each fraction by ionizing and firing its components through a magnetic field. Much like a prism splitting up light, the magnetic field splits up ions based on their mass, giving a sort of fingerprint that can be used to identify what chemical was ionized. That's the explanation, and this is the exact chemical makeup of Coca-Cola.
I do not understand any of this, but props to him, to be honest. W's, bro. And what's crazy is he's been doing it for a whole ass year, bro. Now that's some dedication I can support. This raises a huge question, right? Is this even legal? He's effectively publishing a multi-billion-dollar secret. I mean, you would think Coke's lawyers are sharpening their knives as we speak. But here's the kicker. The recipe isn't patented. It's a trade secret. There's a massive difference there. Officially, only 2 unnamed executives know the full formula at any time. And they cannot travel together when one dies. And when one dies, they choose a successor. It's just insane how they keep the formula in a vault. And it's basically straight out of a cartoon, to be honest, It's funny, but hey, it's the real world out there. But thankfully, I don't know if it's the same way in countries outside of America, I don't know. But it is generally 100% legal to reverse engineer a product as long as, LabCoatz didn't break into the vault or bribe the executive. He's in the clear. So the big question is, did he actually do it? Well, let's watch it together.
Of course, I could go on and on about how I think my cola tastes, but what do other people think? Is this a convincing replica, or just another Pemberton knockoff? Well, I set up several blind and non-blind taste tests, and people actually had trouble telling it apart from real Coke.
This is regular Coke, see, I can't even tell. Even though I know already, I can't even tell.
9.5 out of 10.
9.5 out of 10? That's pretty good.
That tastes pretty close. Like, I may not be able to tell if these are side by side with the original taste.
I know that is definitely, Coke, or a Coke product. If you said it was vanilla Coke or something like that, I'd be like, yeah, maybe that's definitely Coke.
I think this is more similar to this bottle than this is to that bottle, which is crazy to think about now that I said that out loud.
Yeah, that's a Coke product. I wasn't expecting it to taste so much like Coke. Oh my gosh, hold on, I gotta go again.
I gotta go again.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, like if you sold this on the shelves, I'd buy it.
So yeah, people could not tell the difference. That's mind-blowing. I mean, even some people actually preferred his version. Ultimately, this isn't just about soda, it's a reminder that corporate magic, it's just usually a complex chemistry that they hope you never figure out. LabCoatz pulled the curtain down and showed us that with enough dedication and a very expensive machine, $100,000 mind you, nothing is truly a secret. It's just fascinating. Look at how science can take down a giant. So yeah, Coca-Cola's secret formula, cracked by a dude with science machine and a lot of free time. What a timeline to be alive in, especially in the year of our Lord 2026, where everything goes to shit, but thank God this dude shows up and brings us a good time with science. Don't forget to like and subscribe my channel, and I see you in the next video. Peace out.